Café Anyway. Hello, welcome to Café Anyway.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, I'm Mike Matthews. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, located here at Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Okay, 20 seconds, 21, 22. I better get your attention and keep you within the first 30 seconds of this podcast or you're gone. You're not going to listen to the song. And okay, you're gone. The pressure's off. I can sing about other things, like the fact that Mike Matthews, he loves to, and he always sings. And that's the beginning of the podcast. FFF
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2917. 2917. Thank you for listening to the show.
Mike's
That is no
Daily
substitute
Podcast.
for any bad podcast.
Yeah.
No, this is the one podcast you need to listen to, and forget about all the other bad podcasts. Let's just listen to this one, shall we? Ooh, so I got a little video going on. This is an audio mainly podcast, but I do have a little video happening on Facebook. If you go to mikesdailypodcast.com and scroll down there, and you'll see the word Facebook. And if you click on that, it'll take you to my page. And I got this weird video happening where I've got this, it looks like a, what do you call it? A Joker's hat, but it's drawn and it's two-dimensional. It's on top of my head and I've got these little hearts on my face. And then something down below saying Graphria, which I looked up online and it means nothing. So I don't know what's going on. But you can see that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Did you know, another weird news, holiday shoppers are starting early this year. They seem to be starting earlier every year. Of course, they say that in September. And if you're starting to do holiday shopping now, in my opinion, you're late. You should have started in January. That would make you very cool, very ahead of the game. Or maybe you started shopping on Christmas 8 years ago. Well, more consumers are starting their holiday shopping early this year. 48% of shoppers, 48, less than half, but they were planning.
And here's today's podcast picture.
To begin their holiday shopping by Halloween. Ooh. Well, we'll do a podcast picture from this recent past weekend where I was walking around Fairmont Ridge and where there was a beautiful sunset. But I shall get a picture from Halloween last year. And I'll do that in an upcoming podcast. We'll do that. You can see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. But yes, the podcast from yesterday was also from Fairmont Ridge. And I used to take the late, great Basil the Boxer there all the time. And because he could be off leash and run around and chase other dogs and sniff things. He just loved it. Nothing like a dog running free. That they have to be well trained, though. You have to have them on vocal command, which I did with Basil. I worked with him a lot on that. But 48% of shoppers were planning to begin their holiday shopping by Halloween. But costs are on their mind. More than half, 64%, said they are planning to maintain their holiday spending, which is good. Good for you. You get a bell. 21% are pulling back. 21%. Shopping early lets you spread out the hit to your wallet. Did you know? When shopping consumers are prioritizing price, promotion, and free shipping when they're doing their shopping. That's a good idea. Overall holiday retail sales should increase roughly 3% this year. That's a little bit, but
The word of dog.
all the late great Basil the Boxer saying, hey, watch, don't spend too crazy. Don't get in that mall and just go nuts, even though that mall is probably going to close and turn into condos. Oh my gosh, the big old Twitter area. I didn't even know where Twitter was in San Francisco. And then I saw it on the news. Oh yeah, I think I remember that area. But it's gone. They closed it up. All this space is going to what? What are they going to do with it now? I think it's condos. I don't know. I haven't heard anything specific, but wow, the whole area has taken a hit. But San Francisco's trying their best to keep the local businesses running. And apparently, yoga is really big. Local yoga places.
Mike's Matthewsman Park.
Yes. It's a
Front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
It's a amusement park of shopping and yoga. No, but there are some mom and pop yoga places around. There's probably more of those than the chain yoga places, but that's going to change, unfortunately. And my lovely lady friend, she trained in the ways of how to be a yoga instructor. She went through a course to do it at a local yoga place. And so we got to know the people that run the place, very nice ladies. And they're going to have to compete against these chains coming in at some point. Now, I think with yoga, a lot of people like the local mom and pop, smaller, more minimalist side of it. They're not into the big, like with gyms, people like big gyms. Although my lovely lady friend goes to a local mom and pop, ladies only Hachi Machi gym. So it's a big one in the community. So she loves it. And it's great because no guys, no weird meat market thing going on. And it's local here in PodCastro Valley. So we'll see. But definitely the yoga industry is going up. The return, the amount of money they're going to make is something like 9% on their investments, from what I heard. In a KPIX news report. They were also reporting on Twitter leaving San Francisco because Elon Musk had enough. All the robberies and all the homeless and everything else he doesn't like. And he loves Trump, did you know? So overall holiday retail sales should increase roughly by 3% this year, which is a little bit less than last year. 4.3% was last year's. And the WNBA playoffs began recently. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in PodCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. It's been a record-smashing regular season, a new era for women's professional sports. I was Caitlin Clark, LSU's Angel Reese, and a star-studded, here at Café Anyway, a star-studded rookie cast. All the people that show up here at Café Anyway are star-studded. 21 of the 24 WNBA broadcasts that topped 1 million viewers featured Caitlin Clark. ESPN said TV audiences for WNBA regular season games increased 170%. 170%. That's not only 100% better, but add another 70% to it over last year. Attendance for every team grew by double digits.
Mike's out of left field recordings.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
I'm out of left field all the time, it seems. But money, in July, the WNBA signed a 11-year media rights deal worth a reported $2.2 billion. And that goes into effect in 2 years, in 2026, which will be, as you do not have this on your radar probably, it will be the 250th birthday of America. What in blazes do they call that? Now, I talked to somebody who works in D.C., who works in the press department, the public news department, the newsmaker. But I guess public affairs. And anyway, she's head of advertising for all things regarding the mall.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
In Washington, D.C. So she's all up on what's going on in Washington, D.C., and there's going to be a big celebration. And it is called oh my gosh, no one's going to remember this. Semi-quincentennial. The celebration of a 250-year anniversary is called the semi-quincentennial, also known as the biquincentennial, the sesquicentennial, or the quarter millennial. I think people are going to probably just say quarter millennial, but wow, semi-quincentennial will be what they're celebrating in DC and around the nation in 2 years, in 2026. And I was
to win all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
We have to win all the things.
We are warriors.
And we are warriors. Thank you, Miss Pringle. And thank you, is it Dwight from The Office? The American version of The Office? Yes, Becky Pringle. All right. So, yes, we're going to be celebrating as one big nation. And I was alive for the 1976, not the 1776. 1976 celebration. I remember Dick Clark doing a big special on TV. I remember there was just all kinds of, John Philip Sousa playing all the time. There was a thing called the Freedom Train. It was a train that traveled across the country that had all kinds of, it was basically a big museum that had all kinds of stuff from the founding fathers. And I got a shirt.
Mr. President, are you suggesting President Biden's using cocaine?
I don't know what he's using, but that was not, hey, he was higher than a kite. And by the way, it was the worst address I've ever seen. State of the Nation. I'll tell you, State of the Union, that's not State of the Union because he doesn't represent us properly. That I can tell you.
That's right. Just remember, my president should not be doing cocaine. Just saying. We should make that a rule. Well, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So Freedom Train. But you know what? Isn't that a song? Oh, Peace Train. Peace Train was the Cat Stevens song. Peace Train going louder. Man, that guy did so. You know, he wrote that song that later on Rod Stewart had a hit with, and Sheryl Crow. First cut is the deepest. Morning Has Broken. I think he pulled that from someone else's poem. And the Ooh Baby Baby It's a Wild World. So many great songs. Oh, that Father. Well, gosh, I got to look that one up. That song just stops you in your tracks. If you listen to that and The Cat's in the Cradle by Harry Chapin.
The Fascinating Material Project.
FM Project.
Father and Son. Yes. It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me. I'm old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot. Why? Think of everything you've got, for you still...
A fine article.
You silly, great, fat article.
It's a fine article, fine song. But take your time, think a lot. Why? Think of everything you've got, for you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain when I do, he turns away again? It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. It's not time to make a change. Just sit down, take it slowly. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me. I'm old, but I'm happy. That seems to be the refrain of the song. And then finally, all the times that I've cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, I'd agree. But it's them. They know, not me. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. Yes. Cat Stevens, now known as Yusuf Stevens, on his 1970 album Tea for the Tillerman. It frames a heartbreaking exchange between a father and son, not understanding a son's desire to break away and shape a new life, and the son who cannot really explain himself but knows that it's time for him to seek his own destiny. Every generation blames the one before, and all of your frustrations come beating on your door. And I know what's the rest of that one. That's Mike and the Mechanics' Living Years. You know, lots of father songs. And for all you country...
We love you, Mike.
Thank you. One last father-son song. As I've been thinking a lot about my dad lately because I lost my father around 19 years ago. And I was showing him, he is on YouTube. Yes, because of a movie he was in 1940. And he was also in a movie in the early 80s with John Belushi, the last movie he ever was in. Thank you. Thank you for laughing at that. John Belushi was funny, though, we have to say. We have to laugh. Laughter is good. Laughter starts the healing. Laughter's medicine. Hey, the thing is that there's a great country song by John Anderson called I Wish I Could Have Been There. That's also a great father-daughter song as well that you should check out. And I would sing it for you now, but I've done too much singing. Did you know that smart glasses, headsets, and AI will take center stage? Well, it did take center stage by the time you hear this at the Meta Connect 2024 in San Francisco. Perhaps I will be there. I don't know. Do you? Woo! I'm turning into a Cat Stevens song. Mark Zuckerberg will surely talk about how AI will make his products better. That's from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He is heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings and on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. You can see him. X may have returned to Brazil by the time you hear this. Elon Musk's X capitulated and has complied with kombucha and with court orders in Brazil as Threads. Threads, which you can find me on Threads, Mike's Daily Podcast .threads.com, I think is what it is. Well, you can get to it through my Instagram as well, instagram.com/Mike's Daily Podcast. And it is on the wonderful, what do you call it? It's on my website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Oh, there it is. Oh, I guess it's threads.net at Mike's Daily Podcast. Is that how we work this? In the Threads world, in the Thread space. Huh, I thought it would. All right, well, anyway, Café Anyway, that's owned by Meta. So Meta was very happy when X disappeared. So they and this website called Bluesky, which I have not been to yet. Is it Bluesky or Blue Sky? Oh, it's Blue Sky. Shall we check it out real quick together? Because I mentioned last time, Blue Sky. Oh, that is not where I wanted to go.
Travel into the incredible universe.
Don't type in Blue Sky. Because it takes you to some kind of fashion site or Etsy looking thing. I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, it's got an app and they call it BSKI. Why? What? I don't know. So anyway, that's an app that's big in Brazil that did the same thing as X. So they, along with Threads, took market share when X disappeared just a few weeks ago. Space Perspective, which aims to sell balloon rides high into the Earth's atmosphere, announced a successful...
The Cutting Corners Corner.
The Cutting Corners Corner. Oh, I got some great Cutting Corners ideas for you. Yes, some cheap ideas for you to have you know what a cheap date is, for example. If you want to go on a cheap date, go browsing at a bookstore. Doesn't that make you feel smart? And you walk around, it's quiet, and they usually have a cat. One of those mom and pop owned bookstores. Those are nice. And here's the thing, too. You can, for a cheap date, volunteer together. Use your time to serve at a homeless shelter or elderly ministry. It's amazing how helping others can bring you closer together and magnify your love and run errands together. So one of the things my lovely lady friend does, and that may be why we've been together now for, I mean, not 20 or 30 or 40 years like I hear from my friends all the time. Oh, we've been together for 40 years. How could you be together for 40 years? You're 50. You met her when you were 10? Now that's odd. But all right, good for you. Here, what I'm saying is that she, in our long relationship so far, to me, has been long.
Hey, kids.
And
it's me.
What?
Do-Re-Mi the Clown.
Do-Re-Mi the Clown would probably agree, too, that doing errands together helps. And whenever she goes, my lovely lady friend goes somewhere to take care of an errand, she goes, you want to come with me? That's what she says. You want to come with me? And sometimes I'm like, well, I got to do a podcast. But I should say yes every time, shouldn't I? How is running errands romantic, you ask? You leave your kids at home with a sitter, for those of you with kids, or your cats, or your dogs, or whatever. You'll be surprised how much fun you have strolling the aisles of Target or picking up groceries, just the two of you. I used to do that a lot with my ex-wife, and it used to put me to sleep. We go
ginormous.
The ginormous way. We go to the ginormous mall, and that was from RamseySolutions.com. Is that Dave Ramsey's thing? Oh, probably. Oh, well, that's why he's a big name, and I'm just a little fish in this big podcast pond. But yes, we would go to the mall, and I would basically fall asleep whenever she'd go, I need to go shopping for some makeup or for some, she'd cut people's hair, and she'd need to go to these Cosmoprof. Oh, whenever I see a Cosmoprof, I instantly fall asleep because they usually never update any of the posters they have on their windows, and the sunlight fades the colors, and they look all faded out, washed out. Ooh, that's a great song or a great band, Washed Out. Didn't they do that Portlandia song? What? Look, this podcast is just about over. So I should wrap it up here with this last thing here. What they're doing, Space Perspective. They aim to sell balloon rides high into the Earth's atmosphere. And they announced a successful 6-hour test in Florida that reached an altitude of over 1,000 feet, 100,000 feet. Wow. Dang. 100,000 feet. 1,800 tickets have been sold, and it costs $125,000 to go on one of these flights. No, thank you. No, not for me, but some people got that expendable income. Hey, expendable income person, why don't you sponsor Mike's Daily Podcast? You can just email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, and look who's outside a Café Anyway somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Oh, Mike Matthews, it's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Ha, you look like a Joker with like a Joker hat and everything, Mike Matthews. I do on the little video thing on the Facebook page you can get to through mikesdailypodcast.com. That's right, Mike Matthews. And if anybody has expendable income, they can spend it on one of my snow globes. That's right, snow globes. They're wonderful. Chely's snow globes are amazing. The inside is this amazing AI that causes the little snow to fly around inside. The AI is called water. It's one of those amazing snow globes. And just in time for winter, which is fastly approaching, we passed the fall mark, the autumn mark, the autumnal equinox, and now the nights are getting longer. Even the nights are better without you. Is that how it goes? Air Supply. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, that song was great. And I think it was Russell Hitchcock that was in Air Supply. Mm-hmm. Yes. Making Love Out of Nothing at All. Written by Jim Steinman, who worked with Meatloaf and wrote a bunch of his songs. And also wrote a song for Celine Dion. Or wait, wrote a song that Celine Dion had a hit with, I should say. Because the song... Bonnie Tyler also picked up one of his songs. Let's wrap up the show now as we are speaking about wonderful songwriters And you know who else is wonderful? Is the guy that you can call with this phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with all things Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.